This club is very nice people. As a kid, I did so many sports. I played cricket, football, table tennis, athletics, running, GA. But as I got older, all of these hobbies started to fade away, and the only sport that was left was going to the gym. So recently, I went to Wimbledon with my dad. We were there for a day when they were doing the 4th round of the quarterfinals, but it also reminded me that I used to play tennis as a kid. And what I'm gonna show you now is a blast from the past. Inside this is the racket I used to use as a kid playing Kit Kat tennis camps. I've had it in my house unused ever since. The experience from Wimbledon, with a combination of all the things I'm doing this year for personal growth and small changes to push myself out of my comfort zone, I joined a local tennis club. This video is gonna be about my first week joining it. Tomorrow, I have my first lesson, and also someone in my club reached out to me to say we could get a hit in tomorrow. So tomorrow, I have 2 different games of tennis, I guess. Wish me luck.
Oh yes, all on the cam now.
This first lesson back was a little bit rusty. What surprised me was my racket actually held up pretty well. My forehand was pretty good, but my backhand is definitely the one that needed work. I had a lot of shots that were either hitting the net or gone way too far. But the biggest thing that stood out to me was how quiet the courts were and how peaceful it feels to play tennis. I'm sure it can get frustrating if you're having a bad day when you're playing a game against someone, but if you're just having a hit, it made me feel great. And by the end of this lesson, I was super excited to get my hit in with one of the other tennis members later on in the day. Next thing, we have a hit with someone at 5:15. 5:06, back for game number 2. Okay guys, good news and bad news. Well, bad news is the guy who was going to do it with me, he got caught up at work and he can't do it. But good news is we're still allowed to use the courts, so we're going to practice serving to go over some of the things that Agda taught us today. Session done. Gonna get a game with Edward tomorrow, so I'll see you guys then. This session was a little bit different because when you're playing against Ed, I was actually a lot tighter than when I was doing my lesson. I felt like I wasn't swinging properly, I didn't have a groove, and because I wasn't getting any feedback, obviously it's not a coach situation, I actually got a little bit frustrated in this second session. Ed let me play a little bit with his racket and I could definitely feel a difference, but I think I need to play for a few more weeks before I decide to invest in one. I was good, I was tired. I ended up actually staying for 2 hours. Played a doubles game, lost 7-6. Look, that's my first couple of days. Really nice people, good club, something to break up all the high rocks training. And actually one of the people I played in doubles there said he used to watch the YouTube videos back in the day, so just really positive.
If I was you, I wouldn't like me either.
3rd time at the tennis club in a week. This video wasn't supposed to be start a hobby, get obsessed with the hobby, then make it your full-time job, but I've been finding it really, really relaxing to go to the tennis club, which I think for me is what a hobby's supposed to be. It's supposed to be something that you don't take too seriously, and it is relaxing. Guys, look who's back. Woo! What I loved about this session was, although Emily and Beza hadn't done a lot of tennis before, you can just have fun. You can bring guests in and just enjoy yourselves. I think paddle is maybe a little bit more of an accessible sport because it's a little bit easier for people to pick up. But tennis is definitely really rewarding once you learn how to do it. I guess it was great for me to understand that, okay, I can do my lessons, I can also play against people in somewhat of a competitive fashion, but you can also just book in a non-member and get an hour in of quality time together. That was what was so fun to play with the girls. Beza wants to do tennis now.
So guys, if you're thinking about getting into tennis, book Thomas now. He will make you love it.
So, trying tennis for a week. What are my conclusions? Super fun, super relaxing, really proud of myself that I've taken up a new hobby that I've been putting off for literally years. This is just something I'm gonna do probably once a week, play with friends, meet new people, but a bit like a lot of other things I'm doing with my life at the moment, I'm trying to break out from my usual patterns so I don't continuously just do the same behaviors, and part of that comes to exercise, moving in different ways, learning new skills, moving my body differently, and tennis is one of those sports that's just different to weightlifting and it's super fun to do. I'd recommend it. If anyone wants to get a hit in, let me know. I'd love to get some more games in, and I'll see you guys next week for a business update. That's what next week's vlog is. See you next week.